crazy world, you've arrived at, that's a pretty crazy idea. And me, I'm John, or whatever name you like to call me. Today is scratching your head time. I'm trying to find my EEPROM immobilizer chip to transfer it from my original one to my junkyard CPU that I just bought. All this because the internet does not know everything about an 07 Honda. The first thing I have to think about is I've never worked on a printed circuit board before, and that could be a slight problem. And second, what the hell is all this? Oh my god, it's crazy in there. Never mind, it's only a couple of $100 if I get it all wrong. That said, I like challenges. So the first thing you need to know is which pin and which pin block is the immobilizer. There are a couple of ways to do that. Finding the pin block is easy, as it would be the one with the bundle of wires coming from the dash. And that would be block E for me. Genius, right? The first way is using your car ignition immobilizer control unit and put a tone on the line and follow it back, trace it back to the pin block using your continuity tester on your multimeter or your thing that puts a tone on the line. Either way will work, but that'll probably give you a couple of different pins. And one of them is for the actual signal. So you got to figure out which one is the signal wire. Me, myself, and I didn't do this, as I have the wiring diagrams, 1 and 2, and I went through it and I just found the immobilizer unit and then which wire was going into the CPU. And so I said it was at pin E3. And that was the same on the larger overall sketch. So E3 it was. That was fairly easy to find, even though I realized that this is actually not for my exact model of car. So, but it had the same pin number. Okay, so looking at the printed circuit board, you can find the correct pin as it is all labeled. I need a pin E3 and as my starting point, and the way it works is, I doubt whether you can see it from this distance, but on the top side here with the transistors, they have A, B, C, D, E written across the top, and this is the end with the E. Is it that one? Yeah, it's over here. And then you just have to go to the back side where the circuits are, and you'll see that these numbers they're numbered here, 1 to 9 and whatnot, and you'll be able to figure out which pin is number 3. So mine is 1, 2, 3 pins over. It's at the top side here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 here. That is going to be the circuit coming in. So that was easy enough to do. Once you have the correct pin, it should be simple, right? What happened with me, I had it on the continuity tester. I put it on my E3 pin here. And I don't know if you're going to hear this, but the only place I found a signal was right there. It was at this switch right here, but there was nothing anywhere else. So you can just go through it and listen for the tone, and like I said, nothing. So I got it to this point there, but that is not your EEPROM pin. So next thing to do is to try and figure out how to get past this. Well, I figure it has to be hooked up to the car, and you put in your E block in, and it will then bypass this hopefully, um, and it will light up the EEPROM. Now when I do that, I'm not going to put the key, initially I'm not going to put the key in, but going forward I put the key in and not turn it on, just put the key in, because it'll send, hopefully then the EEPROM immobilizer sends a signal straight away, and before it ever gets turned on, to allow you to turn it on. So then you should be able to find your EEPROM from that. As you can see on the circuit side, there we go, don't need that. It's really hard to trace. You'd have to have a proper microscope to be able to trace the wire, trace the circuit board. Virtually impossible. The other interesting thing about this is you have the A series, which is over this side, which generally is the engine management. And then here, the next pin block over, you have the fuel management, which includes the injector pin, the injectors. And then you have the automatic transmission. Now, the reason there's no pins here is because my car's manual. So there's no, you'd also see there's a blank spaces here, where transistors would go for that module. And then the D series is the airbag. The E series is the controls off of the, and so yours is going to be different. This is just what this one is, and that's about that. So after going through all this about the immobilizer chip, I then realized, because I have both boards, I'm thinking I could actually fix the original board too, if I wanted. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go just yet. But what has been happening is all the sensors have been reading high voltage. And so the car conks out. After it gets fully warmed up, it just wants to die. There's no, like if you come to a stoplight, it dies. And then you just cross your fingers that it'll start again and won't take. And I think it's due partly to the control board being a bit hot. So what I'm thinking is maybe it's one of the capacitors that has failed on this. So what I'm going to try doing is taking the junkyard one and putting resistance on the lines through the engine management side, which is the A side, and checking the resistance throughout this area here, and finding out if I can see where it has failed. I don't believe it's going to be in the processors. I think it's going to be in one of the capacitors, which is quite common. They do fail. I heard that, at least I heard that on the internet. So my understanding is, yeah, you can find a lot of times the only problem is your capacitor, one of your capacitors has gone down. I haven't checked to find out what a high voltage would be on this. I'm going to see if I can see something on the internet, and it might be some other transistor that's in here that it'll tell me that no, it's this one here, right? So I'll check it and see what happens. Haven't decided which way I'm going to go with it, whether I go with the EEPROM or this other side, but I'm going to do it the next day or so. But first I've got to also hook this side up to find out exactly which ones are the EEPROM ones on this circuit, and when I find that out, I'll be including that in this. But to get past the little gatekeeper here, I need a power pin, put power in through this circuitry here, and there should be a power pin inside the E. There may be, it might actually take power off of D or A or B. Who knows? I don't know. But with the way the circuit board tends to be laid out, it seems like each one has its area, and there might be some crossover, like from A to B, simply because the injectors have to be managed also within the circuitry of the timing side. But I don't think this area here is going to be similar. In fact, I can't really see any circuitry going across this way. So we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, so hopefully I can get past the gatekeeper and further into this when I hook it into the car. And that should be it for now. Okay, I'm all hooked up and I'm ready to go. Continuity test. Yeah. Well, I've already done this. The only place I still get the tone is right here. So this is without the key being in, but there's no tone anywhere. So, yeah, so that's without the key being in. So, next trial, let's just put the key straight in and see what happens. Okay, so, yeah, the tone's still there. Tone's still there. Oh, wonderful. Well, that's one thing. Now, instead of just this one here, we have this one here as well. Are these my EEPROM chips? I always thought they were going to be these guys here. Let's just turn it to the point of being on. Still getting it from there. Oh, here we go. Definitely a tone on that one. There's nothing on this side of the board, so I don't expect to hear any tone. Josephine. Oh, all three of them are lit up now. Okay, so now I've got the ignition on, and all three of these are now making a tone on one side, and this chip here is also making a tone. And let's try it with the ignition back off again. Okay, so okay. Interesting. So that one doesn't make a tone. So each time you increase it, you get more of these little doodahs here. I'm going to have to check out the C13 and see what happens when I do it on that one. Okay, starting all over again. No key in. Just checking the pins around just to make sure I'm not crossing them a bit. Oh. Well, that is so interesting. When I have no key in, on this one, I get a tone here, and I get the tone from the next one over. I don't get a tone from the third one. And there's no tone down here. I'll just check through and see if there's any other tones anywhere. And the answer to my question is no. But with no key in, I get a tone on this one and on this one this time. Interesting. Let's try it with the key in. Key in, no ignition. Well, okay. Still just the two with the key in. Now I'll turn on the ignition and see what happens. Okay. Ah, okay, so this one's now lit up. Oh. So now this one here is lit up as well. I don't expect it to be over this far because I'm way over here right now. But yeah, so it's there, and it's here. One, three. Where is I getting that other signal from? Oh, there, right here. Right there. So this chip, and all three of these are now lighting up. Now I've got to think about this. The other thing is this one's lighting up now. Maybe this one did on the other one, I don't know. I don't think I tried it. Oh, some of these back ones are now lit up too, which makes sense. Second row, that pin right there, that pin right there. So, well, Mr. B. Oh wait, okay, so that's this pin, this pin. Okay, so we got this pin, that pin, oh, laying back in here. Okay, so that's going to be like 18 or something. That pin's alive too. That pin's alive. And that pin's not. Or Oops, wrong one. They're lighting up here. Okay, let's see if we can get it. Okay, that is pin 1, 10, that'd be 14, that'd be 15. Well, maybe I didn't hit it right. No, it's not 15. Okay, let's pull this over. Let's turn this around. Put it on this side. Okay. That looks like 17, 18. So we got this one, this one, this one, that one, that one. Oh, yeah, that one. Or maybe that's just touching this one. Oh no, there we go. Which one is that? That's, well, that'd be pin 20. 19, 20. Or maybe it is just 19. $14, 10, 1, 3. Yeah. Pretty sure that one of the two chips that I got a sound from, or both of them, because apparently some cars, both chips are required for the EEPROM, that they are the EEPROM chips. Now, the EEPROM chips are like that, with the eight little legs coming off. That is definitely an EEPROM type chip. So that was that. But now I really don't even need that, because when I bought the X-Tool D8, it actually can reprogram the computer to just change it over from one for that. You can reprogram your EEPROM with that particular unit. So I have no real need now to pull the EEPROM out of one machine and put it into another machine. That's days gone by, and if ever I have to do something with the EEPROM, I'll probably just use my computer, my X-Tools D8. Probably a good reason is if you do decide to do this, rather than try to change those chips, which is quite difficult, not the easiest thing, to just reprogram it. And yeah, if you can get an X-Tools D8 to do it for you, you're away to the races, aren't you?